So welcome, first of all. We're so glad you're here. You are watching our show today in a platform called Big Marker. So we can't see you and we can't hear you, but we can see your chat. So please keep chatting. And there's a teeny bit of a delay. So if you say something in chat, you're seeing it a little bit after us. And we always like to say, have a little bit of mercy. We are not in our offices either. We have some fun stories about that. Crystal will tell you more. And so just, bear with us as always. And there's a chat section where we're all saying hello right now. And then there's also a Q&A. And in the Q&A, you can write longer questions and you can actually upvote one another's questions so that at the end of the show, we can make sure we're answering the questions that are the most popular and that you all really want to hear us talk about. So please continue to introduce yourselves and I will get started. I'm Rachel and we're here today with Casablanca Bridal and more specifically, Crystal Wu, who is the creative director at Casablanca. And Juliet's going to do some more formal introductions in just a moment. But before that, I want to encourage everyone to mix up a Casablanca Cosmo. Mine is a little bit of a mocktail. I'm not going to lie, it's 4 p.m., but I tried to make it fancy with some fruit in it. But no matter what time it is, this is going to be fun and make a cocktail or a mocktail to hang out with us. And we'll make sure you get the recipe for that real cocktail later. So virtual cheers to everybody. And if you're not familiar, I'm the CEO of Love Stories TV, and we're a video platform for wedding plans. So on lovestoriestv.com, you can watch real wedding videos from all over the world that have been tagged with all of the wedding pros who made those weddings happen, including the bridal fashion designers. So if you are looking for a venue or a videographer or a wedding dress, you can watch real wedding videos from all over the world and see what people wore and all the details about their wedding. So it's the most fun way to plan your wedding. And this month we are hosting Bridal Fashion Month. Because of the health crisis, traditional New York Bridal Fashion Week couldn't happen in person. People weren't traveling. So we thought, why not bring the experience to all of you? So we've teamed up with some of the top names in bridal fashion like Crystal and Casablanca. And we're actually bringing fashion shows and presentations to you at home. So we're so excited for today's show. And I'm going to kick it over to Juliet to do a better introduction of Crystal than I did.
Wonderful. Thanks, Rach. Hi, everyone. I'm Juliet Dallas-Feeney. I'm the head of marketing at Love Stories TV, and we are joined by Crystal from Casablanca Bridal. I want the audience to get to know Crystal and the brand a little bit more. So, Crystal, tell us about how you got to your current role. And I think a little birdie told me there's like a very special love story from the founders of Casablanca. So tell us that too.
Yeah, okay. Well, first, I just want to say thank you so much for having me. This pandemic obviously has not been easy, but I love seeing the creativity of each brand and just how they're really pivoting their businesses to sort of accommodate and just make it happen. So thank you for giving Casablanca the chance to at least virtually show our beautiful new collection to all the fabulous brides-to-be out there. But to introduce myself, like you said, my name is Crystal and I am the new creative director of Casablanca Bridal. Last year, I just graduated from the University of Southern California, fight on to any fellow Trojans out there, with a BS in Business Administration. But bridal is something I have grown up with my entire life because, like you said, the co-founders of Casablanca are actually my parents. Mm-hmm. As a kid, I remember literally crawling through stacks of bridal magazines and ripping out my favorite ones to like sketch it, and just even being on set, admiring all the gorgeous models and accessories. It was awesome. But, my parents started this business right after I was born. So they were new parents and aspiring entrepreneurs at the same time. So it was basically like they had two babies. I remember for kindergarten, I was always the first one dropped off and the last one being picked up, going straight to the office, literally till 1 a.m. But at that time, I honestly didn't really mind because we had our warehouse, but had a bunch of cardboard boxes. So I could make trains, houses, whatever. Our office is in Anaheim, right next to Disneyland. So at 10 p.m., the fireworks would go off literally every single night. So I got a free viewing, so it really wasn't too bad. But it really is surreal for me to think that the same office that I was going into every single night as a little kid, waiting for my parents to be done with work, is the same one that I'm like virtually going into now every day. Like you mentioned, about how my parents met. They actually, my mom was actually previously engaged, but she broke it off because she wasn't in love with him. She realized, I just see him more as a friend, something like my heart just telling me that he's just not the one. So she broke off that engagement, and just decided, you know what, I am just not going to get married. I'm going to be single. It's okay. That's fine. Move on with your life. And then my grandparents went on a train ride in China. And then that's when they met my dad. And it was like an overnight train ride. So, they really liked how my dad was just so polite and kind, and just really helped them like with their luggage and everything. And when it was time for them to part, my grandma just said, hey, like, can we take a picture together? And she said, yeah, sure. They took the picture. And then she also just kind of threw in that they had a daughter back in America who was still kind of single. And showed a picture, and he was like, oh, wow, like, she's gorgeous, beautiful, everything. And they're like, yeah, if you want to meet up, you guys should do that. And he just thought she was kind of kidding and just didn't take it to heart. But then, my grandparents went back to America, taking that picture that they took with my dad, and showed it to her saying, hey, you know what? We met this really awesome guy. He's a doctor in China. He's Chinese, and my mom is Korean. But they're like, but he speaks Korean. He's super awesome. You should fly out to China and go meet him. And my mom was sitting there like, what are you guys saying? Like, this is crazy. I'm not going to go fly halfway across the world to go meet this random man that you met on a train. Like, no. But my aunt kind of talked to my mom, and she was like, okay, let's see this picture of this guy. Let me just see. She saw it, and she was like, Gloria, this man is, he's not bad looking, and he's a doctor, and mom and dad are offering to fly you all the way out to China to go meet him. Just go meet him. If you like him, you like him. If not, then you got a free trip. Just go and do it. And so she kind of saw it that way and thought, you know what? Why not? Let's go. Flew across the world, because she was in California at that time. Flew from California to China to go meet him. And from there, it was just love at first sight. They went all around China, going to the Great Wall, everything. And I think it was like the 4th or 5th day, my dad asked my mom saying, hey, you made it all the way out here. You want to meet my parents, which is obviously a really big deal already, meeting the parents. But, she was already out there, and she thought, you know what, let's do it. Let's go meet them. And she said at that moment, she knew that she could spend the rest of her life with him, because the way that they were, their values, and they could just see that the way he was raised was very similar to how she was. And she just felt like he could take care of her for like the rest of her life. And so then on that 7th day, they not only got engaged, but married. They literally went to the government building in China, signed the papers, no wedding, just nothing. They were in like a sweater, vest, and jeans, went to the government building, signed the papers, and were married on 7th day. Mom called back home and said, good thing I listened to you guys, because I'm married. So that's sort of their love story.
It's the best love story I've ever heard. And
I did not know this story before. I'm so glad nobody told me, because I just could have listened to that. Like for hours. I want to know so many more details.
You guys, that was like the Spark Notes version. Just like, even if you go back to like, why were my grandparents on that train? Why my dad was on that train? There's so many layers to it that I need to write a book or something.
Yes, this is a movie. Someone said this should probably be in a book, and the audience is freaking out at how
this is. Look at all these comments. Everybody's freaking out.
Yeah, it's insane. I don't know how it worked. Every time I'm on a train or a plane now, I'm like, is my husband here? Where is he?
I'm obsessed with that.
Such a good story, Crystal. We need to have your podcast too.
Yes, we gotta have Crystal on the podcast. Yes.
Love Stories Radio. Subscribe to it. Shameless plug. I don't know how we can top that, but I think we're going to do it justice. But before we get into that, tell us a little bit more about Casablanca Bridal and kind of what sets you apart from other designers. What would you describe as the style of the gowns that you and your family design?
Yeah, well, so at Casablanca Bridal, we believe there's a difference between designing a dress for your wedding and designing a dress for your marriage. As you just heard with their, crazy love story, they're huge romantics and huge believers in love. being married so quickly, they really had to go through that whole dating phase after being married. So it required a lot of patience and learning really what unconditional love meant, but they just reminded themselves of why they fell in love quickly in the first place. So at Casablanca, we believe that every bride deserves to get married and be able to celebrate forever. So we want to show them what it feels like to fall in love all over again by saying yes to their dream dress. So what makes our gowns just so special and unique is our hands-on custom approach to the entire design and manufacturing process. We definitely give you, I think, some of the best quality and fit at the most affordable price. Unlike most designers who subcontract all of their gowns to multiple manufacturing facilities, we pride ourselves in exclusively making all of our gowns at our own private manufacturing facility, which means we have complete control over quality, price, and speed of the entire production process. Most of our gowns are usually, we have 3 collections. We have Beloved, which is more for your boho, DIY, trendy young bride. It's got that light, airy feel to it. We have Casablanca, which is a little bit more of your traditional romantic bride with a modern twist without being too flashy or too edgy. And then we have Amare Couture, which is for your more daring, fashion-forward bride who's not really afraid to step out of their comfort zone.
We were just starting to tell everyone, Crystal, that you were actually like at your family's home and about bringing all the mannequins back. And we were saying, now that we've heard your parents' story, no one's surprised about like how amazing your family is and like the kind of customer service that you would do, allowing people to like come to their home.
Totally.
Yeah, I know. Like you're saying, I know it was just crazy because with the pandemic, obviously all the bridal markets got canceled and we're like, oh my gosh. I mean, if it's just a regular clothes, fine. Okay, online is fine. But with the wedding gown, you have to be able to feel the quality and the fit and see the beating, everything like in person. The photos, you can Photoshop it, yeah, whatever, but it just does not translate the same as in person. So trying to find a way to do it, we were like, I just humbly asked my parents, will you open up your home, let the customers come and see? And so, yeah, that's why we brought like 80 mannequins to our house and had all these dresses lined up. And I mean, it was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. But I'm not going to lie, at night, sometimes when I kind of forgot that they were there and I'd go downstairs to like get water or something, I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? And my dog was also just like on alert the entire time, thinking they were people. But it was great. So I'm really happy it all turned out well. And again, this is just the pandemic trying to force us to be as creative as possible and just making it happen. So I'm happy it worked out.
100%.
I love it. Okay, should we get into seeing the collection, Rach? What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. So Crystal, tell us a little bit about the video that we're going to see. You mentioned the 3 different lines within Casablanca, but tell everyone what we're going to preview today. And then after that, we'll watch the video.
Yeah. Before each collection too, I'll just give a re-intro of the specific brand that we'll be looking at. But again, we'll be looking at Beloved first, which is our I guess our youngest brand out of the 3, and it's definitely the most affordable as well, starting at $7.99. The overall aesthetic of it is to be really light, airy, and free, and not being overly embellished. And then we also have our Casablanca bridal collection, which is going to be for your romantic bride who appreciates a modern twist on traditional designs, without being too overly flashy or too edgy. And then lastly, we'll have our Amare Couture collection. And that's going to be for your more fashion forward and daring bride. Something that was kind of different that we did for this collection is offering bridal masks for every single one that you can customize to have matching lace as your gown. We don't have pictures, I think, in this presentation, unfortunately, because we took those pictures for a different photo shoot that we did with mannequins prior to being able to do this one. But we do have that as an offering. So definitely ask your stylist about that. We're really excited to be offering it.
And everyone who's attending today will be sending an email when the event's over with more information and sending everyone back to the landing page so we can make sure that you get the links and all the info about the masks, even if you don't see them in the video today. Okay, should we get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay. So again, starting off, we will have our Beloved by Casablanca Bridal. Again, starting at $7.99 for this collection. So really affordable, but again, great quality design, structure and fit. It's definitely geared if you're the trendy DIY type of bride. This will be perfect for you if you also want beautifully clean and minimalistic boho designs. So really excited to show you guys what we have. Something else I wanted to point out is normally we do much bigger collections, but due to the pandemic, we decided to do a capsule collection. So there won't be as many dresses this time too, as you typically see. But the first one here is style BL352 Dana. I absolutely love the floral lace appliques on this gown, covering the entire bodice and sort of trickling down into the skirt. But my favorite part is the sleeves, not only because of how super romantic they are, but they're also detachable. And that's something you'll notice throughout our collection is that we love including detachable pieces to give you that 2-in-1 moment.
And Crystal, will you talk about the sizing of this collection as well?
And here is style. Yeah, and we'll have a plus size model as well featured, wearing a size 18, but actually all of our gowns can be made into plus size. And you don't even have to order off a size chart. We offer custom measurements. So we'll take your custom bust, waist, and hip and make that gown specific to your own unique size. So we cater to every single size. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. This one is style BL354 Callie. This is a really charming and feminine gown, but still has sort of that sexy element to it with a plunging V neckline and matching V cutouts on the side of the bodice to show just a subtle amount of skin. And here, yes, you can see the gown in a more plus size option. And again, offering custom measurements so you don't have to order off a size chart. That's one of the benefits of having our own manufacturing facility. And then also doing custom measurements. Doing custom measurements will help with the alteration process. So you'll still need a little nip and tuck here and there, but it definitely makes it way shorter and way less of a headache, and has been really helpful during the pandemic to really speed up that entire process.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize, like, when you get a wedding dress, you're not just getting it off like rack. It's truly, especially in this case, like made to order for your body, which is really special. Because not that many, we typically don't wear clothing that is like that.
Yeah, exactly. So this gown here is style BL355 Maren. This one's a really great modern minimal wedding dress style, especially for a bride who's having to opt for an intimate backyard style wedding. Something else I wanted to point out is, there's, the plunging V neckline and sheer top. And if you wanted to customize that to have a built-in lining for the front or the back or both, we can do that. And then, this is the gown that we skipped earlier. This one is style BL353 Fleur. This gown, BL356 Carey. With Carey, this is the embodiment of sexy elegance. It has cap sleeves that frame the plunging V neckline in the front and has a gorgeous plunging back to match the vibe of the front. You can't really see it in this video, but it also has these clear sequins sewn into the lace pattern to create a subtle glimmer that catches the light at every single angle, and it's super beautiful.
That skirt is beautiful.
Yeah.
Great for walking down the aisle or back photos.
Yeah.
If you guys have questions too, leave them in the Q&A and we'll get to them at the end of this video. So if you have specific questions about your wedding and styling, anything you see here, or the dresses you see, just make sure to use the Q&A.
Yep. And then, so for this gown, this is style BL357 Jessie. So this is perfect for your fairy tale sort of wedding. It has an undeniably graceful appeal to it, and it's decorated with a natural lace pattern that cascades into a really ethereal tulle skirt that's super perfect for twirling on the dance floor. Here we have style BL358 Amanda. Amanda is a little unique for our beloved collection because you really won't see this level of beading on any other gown. That's actually typically what you find more in our Casablanca and Amari Couture. All of our gowns are hand beaded, hand sewn, and hand cut. So to have this level of detailed beading within this price range is, you know, a real steal. But it has beading embroidery all over the bodice and, you know, really structured with boning to keep up that sweetheart strapless neckline as well.
So pretty, very feminine.
Mm-hmm. And then last for beloved, we have style BL359 Maren. This gorgeous and affordable wedding dress is designed to make an impact with sequined floral lace appliques that dance all around the form-fitting mermaid silhouette that accentuates all the curves in the right places. It also has, you know, that sweetheart strap, that strapless sweetheart neckline to add extra support, and it's super soft, adding an amorous touch, while the back brings extra impact from behind. And then over here, we have it in our black version as well.
Cool. It's so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty.
Perfect.
You know, my best friend wore a black wedding dress like this, and so one of my best friends wore a black wedding dress like that, and so I feel like people aren't familiar. Whenever I see it, I like picture her and how gorgeous she looked, and I think it's like such a great option that people. It's great to see it. You know, you don't have to wear white.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. No, it's shocking too because we introduced it. I think about 3 years ago is when we really released our first black wedding dress, and we didn't think it would do, you know, that well. We just kind of wanted like a crazy show-stopping piece, so we did it, and the response was phenomenal. So we're like, okay, let's just keep doing it. And we had a lot of brides who were requesting for, you know, black wedding dresses, and not even that, but other colors too, like blue, sometimes red. It's crazy some of the requests that we get.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so here we're getting into our Casablanca bridal collection. The first gown is style 2437 Nicolette. I wish you guys could feel this dress because something that we introduced last season is our 3D laser cut velvet lace. So this is what you're seeing right here. When you touch it, it's literally like a plush pillow, but the lace is still super light and airy, so you're not being weighed down. And then here you also see it in a black, which I love because you can really see sort of the dimension and details and also the little sequins in it. And it's just phenomenal.
The back on that dress, I'm obsessed with it.
Look at that.
Yep, and then there's a cathedral veil as well, pictured right there. Super dramatic. I love it.
Yeah, so beautiful.
And then here we have style 2438 Angelina. Angelina is breathtakingly detailed for the bride who wants to show that they can be sweet and sexy on their wedding day. We really wanted to emphasize and celebrate the curves of the bride for this fit and flare silhouette. So we added extra boning and reinforced the bra cups with an underwire to really provide maximum support for that strapless neckline. And something else you can see is that there's this really nice eye-catching dimension to it that's created by having a floral lace applique on top of chantilly lace layered with sequin tulle and organza, and just making them really work all together to bring out the best qualities of each layer.
So pretty. A lot of women are kind of nervous to wear strapless if they have a fuller bust especially, but the fact that there's so much structure added is such a nice thing to know. You have support.
Yep, exactly. This gown here is style 2439 Carley. Carley is the perfect dress for the bride who needs a glam wedding dress to really captivate her audience. It has so much detailed beading and embroidery that covers the entire gown. And I love in the back how it has a gorgeous low V back with a little illusion, so you can really see that beaded detail. And it has also a nice split in the front that we saw. This one is style 2440 Anne. Now this gown is perfect for a bride who's looking for a more timeless and delicate look. It's lined with airy organza, catching the perfect balance between elegant and understated. It's held up by a plunging V neckline and matching low V back, but it has soft, subtle floral lace pattern that reaches all the way around the bodice and partly down the skirt. And I also just realized I should have mentioned that I know we've been showing some of our veils as well. Those are matching veils, but those again can be made for any gown. Any gown can have a matching veil, and not only that, but any length that you want as well. So that is definitely something that you should bring up to your stylist when you're in the store if you want to have a veil.
That's great to know.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and this one is style 2441 Paisley. Paisley is, I think, one of my favorite gowns of the collection. It's wildly romantic and sensual with its fit and flare silhouette, hugging the frame comfortably. This one is another gown that has a lot of that great structure that we were talking about. My favorite part of this gown is the 3D floral lace appliques that bloom all over the subtle overlace pattern, creating a really unforgettable dimensional look. I also love how the tulle godets kind of soften the design and flow down the skirt in sections, kind of giving the bride a really beautiful exit down the aisle. This one is style 2442 Sabrina. Sabrina is definitely more for your modern princess bride who's looking for something simple, but also striking at the same time. It has a classic clean Mikado skirt that's complemented and contrasted with intricate detailed bodice for a minimal look.
I love the buttons all the way down too.
Yep. Yep. And then this one is Elisha. Elisha is so gorgeous. It has this guipure lace from head to toe, and we'll see in a second that it also has a detachable skirt with it, which is also one of my favorite things, giving two looks in one. You don't have to choose between a fitted silhouette or a A-line silhouette.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So
and I love how you can just tell in the video how light and airy it is, and just how easy it is to move. So it's just really perfect for dancing all night, and I think it'd be cute for like a backyard wedding too, or any micro wedding.
Yeah, and that lace is so unique. Like you don't see a lot of lace that is so. What is the style of lace? What is that called? You said
it's a guipure lace. I hate saying that word. It's so hard to pronounce.
So
yeah, it's
really cathedral veil too. Stunning.
Mm-hmm. And so this one is style 244 Rebekah. This again is another beautiful dress that's featuring a really charming detachable skirt made of that similar soft tulle, and at the waist it has like matching lace to really make the look like it's one. We see some more of our super flirty 3D floral lace appliques here with actually a bit more sparkle added to it this time, thanks to the subtle beading all along the fit and flare silhouette.
So fun. I love the fact that you can wear the same dress to both the reception and the ceremony, but with that detachable, it's like you have two dresses in one.
Yep, exactly. That's my favorite.
So cool.
Crystal, I wanted to mention, Megan just commented something I've been thinking this whole video, which is you guys did a phenomenal job showing all different kinds of models, all different kinds of sizes. It makes all the difference. When you're shopping for your wedding dress, you need to see all different kinds of people, and I'm so impressed. This video is beautiful, and you guys did such a great job. I think it's really giving people an idea of how they could look and feel in the dresses. And someone wrote it, and I've been thinking it the whole time.
Yeah, I know the video is going right now, but I just wanted to touch on that's something that I noticed just always as a little kid, having parents in the fashion industry, but seeing, a lot of them being, just although they're beautiful, just tall, white, blonde women, and kind of wondering, where's the representation of like people that kind of look like me, or so. Right when I joined the company, that was one of the first things that we worked on. And I'm just so happy to really see us kind of diversifying and having more representation, not just with size inclusivity, but ethnicities, and just doing more in the future too. So we're doing the best we can to be better. And so we're working on it. But thank you for noticing. So this gown here is style 2446 Evelyn. With this gown, I love how, this classic silhouette is enhanced with a really modern lace. It has these gorgeous off-shoulder sleeves that give off a flirtatious look, but we made sure that there's a lot of movability in it by adding an elastic. So you can YMC all night, throw your bouquet, whatever you want to do.
Love that.
This gown here is style 2447 Kimberly. It has that same 3D laser cut velvet lace that we saw in the first dress in the Casablanca collection, but instead of a like A-line ball gown silhouette, it's in a more fitted fit as well, and in black. I just always love seeing it in black.
I know, it's so striking. It's beautiful.
But yeah, I love it when it's in this different color because that's when you could really see the lace. And even in the ivory version, it had a subtle silver blush underneath. So it contrasts a little bit better than having it all ivory.
Crystal, can you share the price range of this collection? Someone was asking in the comments.
Yeah, for Casablanca, the price range for this one would be $14.99 to $1,800. So for this gown here, this is style 2448 Jocelyn. Jocelyn is covered, oh my gosh, in so many layers of different intricate details. I mean, it's got layers and layers of satin, organza, and chantilly lace sitting underneath this gorgeous, sparkling beaded floral lace. And I wish you could feel it because then you could really feel the quality and how much detail is going into this dress. But also something I want to point out, again, here's a daring sheer top, but if you want that lining built in, we have that option. So you could have it in the front and or back. Okay, finally, last but not least, we'll be going into a Amare Couture collection. For this one, the price range is a little bit higher and more elevated than our other ones, but it's a pretty modest starting point at $2,500 and can go up to about $4,000 to $5,000. So for a couture line, that's, I would say, on fairly more modest side. But again, this is for the bride who's a little bit more daring and fashion forward. Starting off here, we have style C161 Ivy. This is, oh gosh, I have a lot of favorites, but this is one of my favorites just because of the texture. Again, this is another gown I wish you guys could feel and see in person because it's from Italy. It's this Italian crinkled Mikado satin. And it looks like there's a lot of material, but it's really not. It has this great structure to it. And when you put it on and see the bride walking down, it's literally like she's on a cloud and it's like a feather. It's That's gorgeous.
Amazing. I've never seen a wedding dress like that. That's beautiful.
I love this so much.
And then this one here is C162 Luna. Luna is a beaded stunner. She has beading that glitters on top of tulle and perfecting satin all over this fit and flare silhouette. But more importantly, over these gorgeous sheer illusion long sleeves that continue into a sheer illusion low V back. And I also just love how the sleeves perfectly sit at the top of the shoulders, framing the neck and collarbone so you can really show that off.
That's beautiful.
Here we have C163 Navy. It's a bit of a nod to the more traditional ball gown, but again, it's boasting a beautiful beaded bodice that's glimmering with our hand-sewn beading and embroidery. And I love how you can actually see all those beautiful details continue to trickle down throughout the skirt right there. And also the off-shoulder cap sleeves that again, just frame the plunging V neckline gorgeously and the natural lace.
These are so like princessy, but not in like the traditional way.
And then here we have finally C164 Ari. Ari is definitely a standout piece. Unlike regular Mikado, this skirt is made out of a silver Italian Mikado. So it kind of has this metallic cool finish to it. Of course, there's, again, an amazing amount of hand beaded detail, but something unique about this gown is that it incorporates a little silver and blue beading in the bodice, just for another pop of color. And it also has not just detachable sleeves, but a detachable choker as well.
I was going to ask if that was part of the dress. That's so
yes.
cool.
It is actually a funny story with that one. I remember when we were doing our line review, kind of finalizing which dresses would be in the collection. I saw those and I just personally love like layering necklaces and chokers. And I was like kind of joking around, this would be a great necklace. And they were like, wait, let's add that. And so then we kind of last minute threw it in there, and super happy I did, because I think it just really completes the look and makes it a little more edgier than your classic traditional ball gown.
I love that.
I love that. That's like one of
Crystal, I have a question before we get into other questions. What is your role as creative director? Because it sounds like you're really involved in so many elements of the design, and then, you know, once it's in the actual bride's hands. So for people who aren't totally clear on what a creative director at a bridal design brand does, tell us, like, what does your job entail? Because it sounds really fun and cool.
Oh gosh. It's really hard. I feel like creative director is just the best title you could give me, because like you're saying, I am doing a lot, I guess, kind of being the daughter of like the co-founders and everything. So I'm touching almost every single aspect of the company, whether it be customer service or sales or marketing. But I guess specifically with my creative director role, it's just going to all the line reviews. We have like over 100 dresses that come in for our first line review, which we're actually about to do in November. And we have a model try on every single gown. And we get this purple pen, scissors, and we just kind of mark it up. What do we want to change? What do we want to keep? And, you know, having our sketches on the side too, making note of that. And then we send it back to our manufacturing facility where they get all of our notes, all of our changes, and make them accordingly. And they send it back, and we do that whole process again. And then we finalize our collection. And then from there, we have to sort of think about, you know, how do we want to do our photo shoot? What sort of theme? What sort of style? Picking the models, because that's also really important. Again, now that we're trying to, you know, focus more on just, you know, having a more diverse representation. Also being creative director, I guess it also gets in a lot with like the fit and making sure that the cups are all right. What is the structure? Because it obviously has to look beautiful, but it has to feel good on you too. So that's something that I've been working on a lot as well. But this is definitely a role. The creative director side is something that I'm definitely working more into right now. I think that's something more that my mother took on as the chief creative officer. And, you know, having my business background and having my educational background in business first, I kind of took on more of an executive assistant role in the beginning, and now really getting into my creative director role and kind of getting more creative and letting those juices flow and sharing my ideas.
I love that.
But yeah, there's a lot. It's really hard to answer that question because it's a lot.
That's amazing. Okay, should we get into some questions?
Yeah.
There's so many.
Yeah, there's so many. Okay, the first question is specifically about the black dresses, which we're getting lots of love. So this person's asking, can you make a black dress with white lining instead of ivory lining?
I believe so. You should be able to change the lining to that color. And we also offer now black lining as well, if you do want it to be all black.
Cool.
And you know what? Maybe we should actually take a step back. So I think we're going to replay the video in case anybody just like wants another view. And so you'll see the sound numbers again. And so you referenced a few times, Crystal, something really important, which is about talking to stylists. So, you know, if anyone watching today isn't familiar, you know, you'll go to Casablanca's website, and that's where you can see all of their retailers, right, who carry all of the gowns. And then if you saw something today that you love, you can actually contact the salons like near you and see if they're carrying that gown, or get in touch with Casablanca and they can tell you someone who is carrying it or when there's going to be a trunk show. So the beauty of attending today is you get to see all of these dresses. The different salons might not carry each one. So you definitely want to write down like the ones that you're loving. And that's when you have those really specific questions. You can talk to the brand. We'll make sure you get all of Casablanca's contact info, but also the stylists at your bridal salons are going to be your best friends. They're like magical wizards that, you know, to Juliet's point, when you go wedding dress shopping, it's totally different than any other kind of shopping. The personal attention you get, it's like having a personal shopper stylist, and you've never experienced that. And so ask us all of your questions today, and then know you're going to have this like amazing person helping you at any of those retailers as well.
Yeah. And honestly, just to add on to that too, these stylists, they are experts. You know, they are literally putting on dresses on all these different body types so that we really know how it fits on you. Yes, the design is important, but again, fit is so important. So these styles really know the fit of each dress and how it might fit on your particular body as well. And so you might come in with these certain expectations, but the amount of times I've seen a bride, you know, showing a big ball gown and then they end up leaving with a fit and flare silhouette. It's insane how much of a 180 it can be sometimes. So just be open and flexible, and yeah, trust your stylist because they are the experts truly.
Yeah,
that's the best advice. Okay, so question. So someone, you mentioned this, but in case someone missed it, so talk about the matching veils, and then you also talked about the matching masks. Yeah. So let's talk about both of those things, masks and veils to match dresses.
Yes. Okay. So again, with our veils, because we're in charge of our own production and everything, we can offer matching veils for every single gown. We literally will make it any length that you want, and then we'll take the lace from the gown to put it on to the veil how you want it so that you could have a matching veil for your gown. And for the mask, similar concept. We can take the lace from your dress and put it to create a matching mask for you as well.
Amazing.
Love that.
Mm-hmm. And you can customize your veil too. I know that some people will like add sequins on it, take off sequins, change even just little things. You can customize that veil to be exactly what you want as well, not just the gown.
That's so great to know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, another customization question. Katya is asking, can I raise a neckline slightly if I'm bustier? And I'm sure it's on the dress, but yes.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And like I'm saying, you guys, with customizations, you might think like, oh, is it just adding sleeves, lengthening the train, raising neckline, lowering it? But we have had a bride who takes the shape of a sleeve from one dress and the shape of the neckline and back from another one and the shape of the skirt from another, combine that, and then take the lace from a fourth dress, putting on top of that to literally create a whole new dress. So the limit of customizations just does not exist. You can do whatever you want. We will work with you to get it done also.
That's really cool.
I love that. And I think something else in terms of neckline. So you'll see like on the model right now, you know, a lot of these dresses are showing this illusion, which really allows you to have that super sexy, like low cut, but you're still in the dress. Maybe Crystal talk a little bit about how that illusion works, because people probably haven't ever worn a garment with illusion on it. And I feel like it really allows you to feel comfortable in a neckline you might not expect to feel comfortable in.
Yeah, that's why a lot with like our off shoulder, like for one of them, we had an off shoulder cap sleeve. You would think maybe like, why is there an illusion there? But that's really to keep it up, keep the dress structured, and so it doesn't fall down. Something actually that we're really excited about, hopefully introducing soon in the future, is offering different sorts of tones of illusion so that it's not just one nude. There's obviously nude has a broad definition. There's so many different variations of nude. So hopefully our goal in the future is to offer different variations so that it really has that true sheer look, and you can't tell that it's there. But like you're saying, it is mostly for structure to make sure that the sleeves don't fall and your back feels covered and supported as well. So yeah.
Amazing. Okay, next question. Talk a little bit about timing. Are the dresses we're seeing today in stores now? Talk about timing with us.
So I was just talking with our team about this. Our beloved and Amari couture dresses are online right now, and Casablanca will be added shortly. We just had some technical difficulties. But then being in store, it will be by January. And also make sure you're checking out for trunk shows in your area so that you can see the entire collection all together.
Amazing. So, right, so you can see some of the dresses today online. The rest will be online shortly. So if you see something you love today, go to Casablanca's site. You can learn even more about it, take notes, write it down, get in touch with the salons in your area to find out which they're going to be carrying. That's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal, can you talk a little bit about, we had a question about samples at salons. So when you're sending samples to salons, what sizes are you sending? Because I think when people think sample size, they think like only one, and like, what if it doesn't fit me? So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, most of our salons, they spend hours trying to make sure that they're picking not only the perfect styles, but also the appropriate, sizes for each dress as well. So they should have a variation of sample sizes. I think it should range from at least like a 2 to 24 or larger, but Again, it also depends on the store because each store will have different samples and different sizes. So you should, I would recommend calling that retailer that you want to go to and seeing what they offer.
Perfect. Okay, this is a very specific timing question, but these are the kinds of questions everybody has because people's weddings are moving all around and it's wild out there. So Kelsey says, the bridal shop I want to visit said they'll have the new line in February. Do you think that will be enough time to order a dress for an October wedding?
Yes, I was gonna say for our delivery right now, it's approximately 4 to 5 months, but we also have a rush option for 2 months. So if you're going in February and your wedding is in October, then that should be fine.
Great.
Someone is asking if they can purchase the choker by itself.
Yes, you should. Yes, you can. That's sold separately that you can totally get. Yes.
Crystal, that's your next, in your next life, you're going to be an accessories jewelry designer.
I know. Yeah. I would love that. I love accessories layering up. So, I mean, yeah.
Okay, 2 more questions. We're just going to, some of this information we're repeating, but it's great. Everybody wants to shop. So 2441 Paisley and Luna are going to be in salons. Repeat it again. In January. Great. Okay.
Mm-hmm. This entire collection should be available by January.
Got it. Okay. So many questions. What about waistline? We're getting a customization waistline question. Can waistlines be lowered in a customization?
Yes. Oh yeah. You can have it stay at the natural waist, or you can have it be a drop lower waist. That we can also accommodate as well.
Amazing.
You sort of already answered this, but another customization question. This person asked, she's asking about adding like any of the sleeves they see to other dresses. Is that possible to do?
Yes, you can do that. So you would just have to pick the shape of the sleeve that you want, and then choosing, do you want that lace, the same lace from the dress to go on that shape, and then working with your stylist to, get a sketch as well, which is something also I forgot to mention. If you're doing a customization, the stylist will let us know at corporate, and then we'll relay that to our manufacturing, and they will send a sketch back if you want to confirm that it looks exactly how you want.
Well, I love customizations. So
I love it.
The limit does not exist.
Yes, exactly.
Talk about, okay, speaking of customizations, okay, I'm just trying to look at all these questions. So someone asked about a rush shipping. I think you said, did you say 2 months you could do for rush?
Yeah.
2 months. Okay.
Yeah.
That's for you, Barbara. And then Bobby's asking, are there increased charges for certain customizations or all customizations, or what should people know about that?
Yes. So that is one of, there's no, flat rate, I guess, for the customizations. It really depends on that dress. Let's say you have a really simple dress that you want to lengthen the train. Of course, lengthening that train will cost less than lengthening the train of something that's completely embellished in like crystal Swarovski details and embroidery. Those pricings will vary. So your stylist will probably have to get in contact with us to get the exact pricing and information on that.
Amazing. Again, guys, your stylists are your best friends. And, Crystal's story, like the example she used, is literally exactly what happened to me when I went wedding dress shopping. I came in there with ball gowns in my mind. I mean, like the biggest skirts, and I started putting them on. And then I was like, can I just see that mermaid gown over there? And I ended up with like a super tight like mermaid gown. Like you just don't know. And so it's so true. And you'll just, if you haven't ever gone wedding dress shopping with a friend before, it's going to blow you away. It's the most special shopping experience you'll ever have, not just because it's for your wedding and your marriage, but because of the attention you get. Shopping for this kind of custom gown is not like things that we're used to really in 2020. So there's so many questions. Crystal, is there anything we haven't asked you yet that you want to make sure you talk about before we close out as we're looking at the remaining questions? Is there anything we haven't asked you?
I don't think so. We talked about our customizations. We talked about, something that I think a lot of people appreciate as well. Because again, I'm going to keep pointing this out, that we manufacture our own gowns. That means we never mass produce our gowns. Every single gown is made to order. So even if you're ordering a standard gown, no customizations, off the side part, no custom measurements, that gown is still being made specifically just for you. Not only does that make it unique, but also I think I really appreciate that because it helps kind of lower our environmental impact as well. Because we're really being mindful about, utilizing all of our fabric, laces and trims, and not, producing any sort of waste. So that's something I guess that we didn't really get a touch on.
Yeah,
I love it. Okay, guys, so I do want to make sure as I see more specific questions coming in, you should follow Casablanca on Instagram, first of all. You should follow Love Stories TV on Instagram, and you can DM us any questions that you think of after the show is over. We also have a special email address called bff@lovestoriestv.com, like best forever friend, where you can email us any question. If we can't answer it, we'll get in touch with Crystal and her team. And we're also going to email all of you the playback of this show and links to the dresses that we talked about today in case you didn't get to write down one of the styles or anything like that. So just know that we're just going to continue to get you all the information and answer all of your questions. And also there's a pop-up. Oh,
go ahead, Rachel. You took the words out of my mouth.
I was just going to say that you probably see on your screen a pop-up to find a store near you. So I know that I've said this already and I keep repeating it, but what you want to do if you see a dress you love, is like you want to go find the bridal salons in your area that that carry Casablanca and get in touch with them. Be like, I saw a dress in this show and I'm obsessed with it. Do you have it? And Crystal can talk more about this, but there's trunk shows. Sometimes salons can call in different styles, but you're really going to want to start with your salon. Maybe talk a little bit about your trunk show program, Crystal, so people know.
Yeah, it really depends on what sort of trunk show that specific store is hosting or that they booked. It can be for our Beloved collection. It could be like a fall 20 Beloved trunk show, which will have that entire season's collection at that store. Or it could be a Casablanca Spring 21 trunk show, or it could be a plus size trunk show as well, featuring, some of our larger sample sizes. But something else I actually forgot to mention is that we have a gown on loan program. So if you go into the store and there's a gown that you want that it's not there, the store can call us to loan that gown so that they can send that sample over to the store so that you can try it on. So I just wanted to point that out as well, because I know that's really helpful for brides who are really wanting that specific gown that they really are dying to try on.
Amazing. Oh, amazing. Well, congratulations. Everything is so beautiful. I can't stop thinking about that Mikado ball gown from the end. I mean,
and I can't stop thinking about your parents' love story.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an amazing story.
So amazing. It's so amazing. It really comes through. I think speaking to you and seeing the designs and just learning more about the company, I don't think anyone's surprised to hear how your parents, started their journey. So thank you for sharing it with us.
Yeah, thank you.
And thanks everyone for joining. This was so fun. Great questions. We'll send you, like we said, the playback. If we didn't get to your question, don't worry. You can get in touch with us and we'll make sure to give you that info.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure you when your work day is over, you go have your mocktail or cocktail.
Yep.
Thank you, Crystal, for being
here.
Thank you,
Crystal.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Bye.
Bye.